known David. I've known David for 72 years. He was 9 years old when I was born. So about the time I was 4, I began to understand what kind of person it was. And I'll tell you that about that in a minute. But first, I want to give you 4 biblical references. And some of them have already been referenced, but I'd like to repeat them. The first one is 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It was written by Paul. And of course, I've spoken to John and my daughter Jill and many other people about these verses because they mean so much to me. I think it's the most beautiful piece of writing I've ever read. That one chapter, so brief and so powerful. Faith, hope, and charity. Of course, charity is love. And this I'm about to give to you is the story of love. So if you don't know it very well, I recommend you study it in a little more detail. The next thing I like to talk about is forgiveness from the cross of those who do not know. Again, I've spoken to John about this many times, haven't I, John? Jesus Christ on the cross, one of the last phrases he mentioned was, God forgive them, they know not what they do. And you've seen movies and you studied the scriptures and you wondered, was he forgiving the Romans or the Jews, the Pharisees, the soldiers? Who was he forgiving? And he tells you very plainly who he's forgiven. Those who do not know. And people who do not know are people who are ignorant. So who did he forgive? Well, we know that Peter denied him, and Thomas doubted him, and Judas betrayed him. 30 pieces of silver. And Judas went out and hung himself. I had a brother, because he's in pain, he killed himself. I've wondered many years about that phrase that you can't get forgiveness if you commit suicide. So I've studied that word, that phrase, God forgive them, they know not what they do, for many, many years, and this is the conclusion I've drawn. Peter would not have denied him if he hadn't feared for his own life. So was he completely 100% sure about the certainty of the Messiah? Thomas doubted him. Same reason. And Judas betrayed him. And then hung himself. So if Judas betrayed him, he didn't think Jesus Christ was the true Messiah that he thought he was to begin with. But then he hung himself. So was it because of some kind of realization that indeed he had committed treason against the Messiah, that he no longer wanted to live? Jesus Christ said from the cross, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Judas was among them, and I'll let you ponder that until you come to your own conclusions. The next verse was overcoming grief from the cross. He looked down at his mother and he said, Woman, behold your son, pointing to the apostle John. And he looked at John and said, Behold your mother. And of course he was on the cross and he was about to die the death that humans died, because that was one part of his mission on the earth until it was finished, he said. So what did that mean? What did he talk to his mother and talk to John? I studied that. And this is my conclusion. He was telling them how to overcome grief. For those of us, all of us who love my brother Dave, and for those of us who have lost anyone that you love so much and you didn't think you could go on, this is the conclusion I've drawn. He was telling his mother, I'm going to die and you're going to grieve me. So let John take my place. Love John like you would love me. And then he looked at his apostle John. He said, John, I won't be here anymore. This is the message. I'm not going to be here anymore in your presence. So love my mother as if you would love me. And the message to me is clear. The best way to work your way through grief of losing someone you love so much to love someone. There's always going to be someone in your life that needs to be loved. Just love someone. The last one is healing miracles. John 14:12. Jesus was talking to his disciples, and he was telling them things. And he knew he was about to be crucified, and they knew something was about. And they said, Master, how can we do the miracles and healing that we've seen you do? And he said to them, what you've seen me do, you'll do things just like that, and you'll do many things greater than that. But he wasn't just talking to the disciples. The Bible is not Jesus Christ talking to the people in the book. He's talking to everybody. So if you believe in God, and you believe in miracles, and you believe in healing, if you pray to God just as he directed you through his name, because you believe in Jesus Christ, you can accomplish those things through Jesus Christ. Born of Purdom Howard Sweat and Lily Elizabeth Rowland Sweat. David was 9, almost 10 years old when I was born. So I've known him for 72 years, as I mentioned. He had 2 siblings older than him, Howard, the oldest son, and Doris, the oldest of the 8 of us. There were 3 children between me and David, with a 10-year difference there. And that was Clarice, the next oldest daughter, Wesley. I think Larry mentioned Wesley and having spent time with Wesley. And then there was Shirley. And below me there was one younger brother, the youngest of the group. His name was Revis. At the age when I became aware of such things, I always noticed David to be a morally good person. I had to be about 4 or 5 before I could even conceive of what that meant. So I'd say around 4 or 5 I began noticing these things about David. He was a hard-working person and a person who loved and respected his parents and his brothers and sisters, his siblings. And people he knew. He always showed respect to people. In his day and age, and you may not believe this, but it was my day and age too, we were raised on farms. We didn't own farms, we worked on farms, and we started working around age 6. And we earned money to pay our school supplies off. We worked basically during the summer months, but we worked in the spring and fall too. We make money for our clothes and the school supplies. And we learned very quickly a good work ethic and how to learn the value of dollar. It might have been Jeff that mentioned that we were born into poverty. The strange thing is, we were born into extreme poverty, but we didn't know that. And I didn't know that for years and years and years. I didn't know it until I got a decent job. I'd gotten grown, we grew up, and things were going well for us. I look back at our youth. It was terrible, but not while we were living it. It was wonderful because we had our brothers and sisters, my mother and father, and our neighbors. Just such wonderful, wonderful people. And so, Jeff, you mentioned something, you've been saved by grace. I don't know where Jeff, but my whole life has been filled with grace. I've told people that because I've done nothing spectacular. I've done nothing worthy. All that my goodness that's been presented to me in my life has been because of grace. David met and married Claudia Mae Cole. That's when he moved up here to follow his older brother Howard. He met Howard's wife, Dorothy, met her friend, and it wasn't long before David and Claudia Mae got married. They had 2 children. Benoit was the oldest, he was 6 years older, and then there was Joey. Claudia Mae passed away at a very early age, in her 40s. As many of the church people here know, 2 years later, David had met John, and they wed. 32 years until David's passing, they've been wed. David loved all of John's children, Gary, Daniel, and Kelly. And because he had 2 boys, he often referred to Kelly as his daughter. Now this is an aside, but I'm going to tell you because it's precious to me. David was in the hospital, I think, like 3 days. And John and I, and Benoit and Joey, we've been up there at the hospital several times the last few days in the hospital. And when David went home in the hospice, Kelly had come to help her mother. And regarding guitar and songs, this is what Kelly did. You know, we were sitting around trying to comfort David and each other and trying to think of things to say. And the thing that was the most interesting was what Kelly did. And I say this to preach because they all mentioned his guitar playing and stuff. But Kelly got her phone out and got into Pandora and started playing some music for David. And there's a little video, I don't know who you sent it to, Kelly, but I sent it about everybody I know. And David was lying there pretty much at the end of his life where he could hardly do anything. And he was playing air guitar. Was he not? You could see his right hand picking. And somebody said he was snapping his left hand. I said, no, he wasn't snapping, he was chording. Now he could only do that for a few seconds. And the song happened to be Doraville by the Atlanta Rhythm Section. I had to play that song out loud when Kelly sent me a copy. I said, what is that song? I knew it. I played it real loud and I thought, oh, I know that song. So it's a rock song that David had probably played when he was playing in bands earlier before he got into the church all those years. But that was an interesting concept about Kelly because Kelly hit upon something that perked David up in his time of need. And I told her how precious that was for me. And I said, I know you're David's stepdaughter, but I just wanted you to know how precious that was to me, Kelly. And you know what Kelly said to me? He was my father. Now, how much more precious could that be? David loved Kelly, loved Daniel, and Gary. And his two sons, Joey and Benoit, they're both gone and on up in a little bit of age too. But all he had to do was ask David about those two boys. They grew up, they got careers, and they both have been successful in those careers. And if you ask David, he'll be glad to tell you about how happy he was and how proud of Benoit and Joey he was. I know his daughter-in-law, Penny, has got to be the apple of his eye too, because Penny is one of the most wonderful spouses of anybody I've ever seen for Benoit. So Benoit, I always tell Benoit, he did a good job in the selection. Now, when David and Joan got married, they started spending their whole, Joan had been doing it anyhow, they started spending their whole career in the church. And particularly, they started out at, what was the church, Joan? Kelly Harvard, forget that. But most of their career that I've known has been right here at Gateway Baptist Church. And the preacher has spoken about it, but they not only devoted a lot of time, David with the band, Joan singing, but they also participated in the ministry for the nursing home, for the prison ministry, and about the food thing. I forgot about that, but David told me stories about getting food, not just food, but other supplies and all to the poor people in the community that really needed help. They would get it to them. And when I worked with the Department of Family and Children's Services, I would actually call David and John sometimes. I'd say, I know these people, we can't help where we're at. I think it's one of them careful, but they need help. And if Gateway Baptist had it, I guarantee you those people would get it. Amen. They would get that help. So John, y'all did some wonderful work those years. I just want to tell you that. As you can see, even after he left our home to go out to the world, David never lost the moral compass. His love for his relationship with Jesus Christ, his work ethic, his respect for other persons, and his undying love for his fellow travelers. He lived his life in Christ and he passed in Christ. And right now, I think, again, Brother Jeff and this, he's probably listening on us now, just checking out what we have to say about how wonderful his life is. And all the years that I've known him, and I've known him a lot more than you have, I knew him as an older brother who would let us ride on his back when he was a horse and we were playing cowboys. Me and Rev would jump on his back with our little 6-shooters, we ride around. He was a horse, we played cowboys and Indians. And we just had such a wonderful time with our older brother David because he was always there. When he was still at home, he was our older brother. He took good care of us. So right now, it's only David and my sister Clarice that were left. All my siblings, my mother and father, have long gone to be with the Lord. So it's me and my sister Clarice. So on behalf of my sister Clarice and all our families, and by all our families, I mean behalf of the Sweats, and we have, I think we have all 4 of the nephews, all 4 of Howard's children, Daryl, Eddie, Belinda, and Larry. God bless y'all. You're wonderful people. On behalf of the Rowlands, my sister, she sees this presentation. She'll know to whom I speak. That was my mother's maiden name, and tons of relatives in the Southeast. The Bennetts, my oldest sister, married a Bennett, had 4 or 5 children now. I'll mention them later, but they were all part of our family. The Dowlings, my sister Clarice, she married a Dowling and had 3 children and all their children, grandchildren. And the Edenfield, my youngest sister married an Edenfield, and we got nieces and nephews all over Savannah area, Southeast Georgia area. So on behalf of Clarice, myself, and all those family members, we love you, David, all your life. And we love you now in Christ.